heaven. Lord, help me find my crossroad. Harsh living temptations, please cleanse my soul. We live where government barely give us assistance. To this day, it still don't have existence. For instance, me telling me owner by all company business. That's when they show hate and here start their bitterness. I take their bitterness and grant myself to have greatness. Realize I have a family to raise, don't have time to be careless. Make moves, strategize, I have a plan for my life. Please, Lord, don't let me die tonight. Please, Lord, help me to keep living right. Keep my head above water, front seat on this flight. On this flight, keep my head in the sky, floating on air. Wrestling enemies, winning with figure fours like with Flair. Call us all black men to stand up, have patience. Heaven help us, keep me away from Satan. Just speaking from my conscience, thoughts of a man. Politics, my decisions, accepting the consequences, my plan. That's why I rhyme, living in my prime to get ahead one day at a time. That's why I rhyme, living in my prime to get ahead one day at a time. Feel me? One day at a time, yeah. Feel me? One day at a time. Heaven help me, heaven help me. In these times in life, help me to keep living right. One day have a wife, make a change in my life. Not to be living trite. Heaven help me. In these times in life, help me to keep living right. One day have a wife, make a change in my life. Not to be living trite.
Some wonder if there's a heaven up above. Why I wonder, cause God created love. No more the man could create that feeling. Not in the devil's row with all these underhanded dealings. For instance, how they did my people in New Orleans. Left stranded for days, had them scratching and crawling. That's all we get from the...
Good morning, people. Welcome to another edition of the Open Line Radio Show here on AOC Community Media. That's Cox 15 in Lafayette, LUS Channel 3, and also in the 5 parish area of South Louisiana. You can also listen on digitalsoulradio.net, digitalsoulradio.net. Go and download the app. Take us everywhere, put us in your car. You can get it on Apple CarPlay. You could get it on TuneIn, especially TuneIn, and Android Auto. So check out all the great programming on AOC Community Media. Download even the AOC app. You could download the app and take that everywhere and listen to these fine programming that we have here on AOC Community Media, the last bastion of free speech is over here at AOC until they shut us down, and I can talk about them too. But no. They've been, for the last 20 to 20 years, we've been doing these things. Sister Khadijah, Brother Wallace, Brother Shaheed, Brother Darrell Muhammad, Mr. Kevin, Mr. John Best, Sister Jamila. Everybody's been part of AOC Community Media, and they haven't failed us yet, but this is some new times, and we don't know what could be around the corner, because we got some MAGA racist people running the FCC, running the government, and when they decide to shut us down, they will try to shut us down, but we're going to keep on persevering. So check out AOC Community Media, consider becoming a member. Also, AOC is also a great place of education. If you or your young one want to learn about video production, radio production, podcasting, AOC is a great place to learn. So we're going to run right into it today. I'm waiting. Maybe Brother Keith might join me as my co-host. Sister Khadijah might call in today. Again, as it relates to KIEE 88.3 FM, they actually are converting to all digital format, meaning online only. So hopefully we get the directive from the management and tell us which way they're going. In the meantime, I still support KIEE, formerly known as 88.3 FM. So check them out. Check all progressive and media that cater to our community, especially to the black community in these times. We know there are some corporate imitators out there, corporations who are putting on black formatted shows, and they are not really serving the community. But a big shout out to a kid on the block, and the brother who owns it is not a new kid on the block. He's been doing some great production. Realmusic.net, converted to 105.7, Soul 105.7, KNIO in New Iberia. We want to support him. Great music, and I listen to them all the time. Brother Henry Davis, one of my former hosts at KJCB 770 AM, where we all started out at. He has an excellent gospel show on Sunday. So this is not necessary to promote one media outlet over another, but to support all the media operation that give good programming and great music and great information in our community. So we just want people to know that and understand that corporate media is not serving because they're not telling the whole story. And when you have some people on corporate media, it seem to go to their head because they're on the corporation that owns zillions of stations but don't serve the black community and afraid to talk about the real issues in the black community. So that's youth. You could either turn them on or turn them off, just like some would say. Shout out to Brother Wallace, Senegal, every Friday on Community Matters. Check him out also. He has some great programming, people from the community and so forth. So we're going to go right into it. The big story is the young brother. Let's see if I can pull up his picture. We discussed it on the Community Family with Brother Dal Muhammad, a young man who was untimely taken from us due to some extenuating circumstances. I have him up here on the screen in a minute. So sad that what happened to him, you know. Let me move him around right quick. Let's see. This young man was trying to do his best. Okay. He was trying to do his best as an athlete, student athlete. And he seemed to get caught up in some situations that was beyond his control. And now they had a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that he's innocent. So we're going to run a couple of clips with this, and hopefully you could get some insight to what's going on with the young man.
In that video, you can clearly hear the suggestive nature indicating that I need you to say that you had to slam on your brakes and you had to avoid a charger.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, like, you know, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
But then you hear Gold Truck, the witness who's the Gold Truck, what he says. And he says verbatim.
I ain't scared my car nothing, but I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't saw what was happening. That's how she called that wreck. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side. And that's how that is.
I didn't skid marked or nothing because I wasn't even going that fast. That lady in the back of me, she didn't see what's happening. That's how she caused that wreck. She was going to run into the back of me, and she pulled into the other side. But there's a bigger problem. I then obtained the actual written statement.
And this is from the Gold Truck.
This is the Gold Truck. Now, after the statement we just went through, notice, I've obviously redacted names, addresses, and the cell phone number in fairness to the individual who is Gold Truck number one in oncoming traffic. See, the problem with that statement is it is in direct contravention to what was said minutes earlier. It's not written by him, and where it says signed, it's not signed, it's refused.
In the speakeasy, we have fun.
We do.
We toast. We give away bread.
A lot of that.
Yep. We celebrate a lot of things. We celebrate all the things.
We take shots.
We take shots.
Take shots.
But we want to make sure the Speakeasy is one of the most versatile and well-versed shows that y'all can watch. We want to make sure that the Speakeasy is somewhere you can laugh, but if need be, if somewhere you got to hold some heavy emotions, we want to make sure y'all can do that. Reason I'm bringing that up, there's no real way to transition into this next topic besides just calling out a little bit of the discomfort in transitioning to this next topic. And for anybody that's unfamiliar with the Kyron Lacey Lacey story, I'll let Kieran kind of share on, and we can just discuss on that real quick.
Yeah, so Kyron Lacey, LSU star receiver last football season, ended up getting in some trouble off the field, it seemed. He was accused of not a hit and run, but impeding traffic, driving recklessly, and then causing an accident that took the life of a former military man. And in that, afterwards was blasted online, was absolutely shamed online. It was right during the draft process. People were calling him a thug. There was accounts of Barstool was saying some crazy things about him, acting like they weren't surprised about how he was acting. And it led to a lot. It led to a lot. I know some people that know Kyron personally, and it led to him being extremely, extremely depressed and dealing with a lot of these really, really rough things in life, especially at such a crazy time that's supposed to be something happy for him. Afterwards, he ended up getting into a altercation with a family member and then ended up taking his life. And it was released 2 days ago by his lawyer, a series of videos. One video shows the accident actually happening and Kyron's car coming 100 yards away. And it was revealed that he actually wasn't the reason why the accident happened. And then there was also another very disturbing video of a policeman essentially telling a witness what to say about what happened at the accident. And I think this is just such a heartbreaking thing because everybody, and I mean everybody, just especially with today's media, moves way too fast to blame someone without all the facts coming out. We move way too fast to put down someone. And this young man had an entire bright future ahead of him. And because of horrible narratives being pushed and assumptions, led him to doing something that I don't think anyone of us ever want to see anyone that we love do. And I just wanted to say, Kyron, rest up. And it's unbelievable what transpired. I had a tweet. I said, I stand on it too. I had a tweet and I said, I hope Kyron's family bankrupts the state of Louisiana. And I don't literally mean he bankrupt the state of Louisiana, but I mean wholeheartedly, I hope that family gets as much as they possibly can because of what happened to this young man. It's completely unfair. It's unbelievable. And to be honest with you, it's very, very heartbreaking news knowing how talented and nice and amazing this young man was. I worked with so many kids that he also worked with and spent time out of his day to go work with them and trainers that he loved and talked to every single day. And to have this false narrative be pushed on him in his late days is just unbelievable and extremely sad. And I think we as a society, we as a country, we as people that we take all this information need to do a whole lot better.
Yeah, I feel awful. I mean, a lot of things you just said I agree with. You know what frustrates me the most is that, like, we all have a job to do. And I think when something's so serious like this that could change the family's life, his life, everybody has to do their job. Like, why is the evidence just coming out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you charge somebody, right, and you talking about murder, you talking about all this type of things, like, we need people to do their job. So we get to if it's true or false. Like, for example, all the technology we have nowadays, you telling me I couldn't look at the traffic cameras and all that? Like, we have so much freaking DNA, we have so much freaking resources, technology. Come on, every car now has a video camera to it. Every street light has, and when you're a young kid, right, and you've been train every day to be at the highest level playing in the NFL. That's like one of your dreams. You see your teammates going and all that. You want to get there. And you try to have a squeaky clean reputation. And then something comes upon your desk that's saying you did this, you did that. And you can't even clear your name. And that's like a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of trauma. Right? And that's like nobody thinks of them things. And then when the stuff hits the fan, like, oh, everybody wants to act like they're so surprised. No. If you do your job, we probably wouldn't be here right now. And it sucks for his family because I got a son. He's 13. Like it's so much you got to worry about in this world. And now, you know, being accused of something like this, like that's terrible. I feel bad for his family. A lot of prayers to him and his family, man.
Man,
you know, rest up well.
I got so many thoughts. One, I'm glad to be able to have these conversations with y'all. I hate the conversation we're having, but I'm glad that we're able to have the conversation. My first thought is we have to be mindful of being, that judge and that jury on social media. Oftentimes, being found guilty in the court of public opinion does more damage than being found guilty in the actual court, because if you're found guilty in the court of public opinion, that's already completely ruined that person's emotions, completely ruined that person's family, completely ruined that person's emotional health and emotional stability. That's my first thought. My second thought is we have to all be cognizant of logging off, get offline. The world is a cruel place, especially when the world can hide behind the shadows of anonymity, which you can do on social media. So be cognizant of just logging off and getting online to protect your own mental health when you need to. And then the last thing, and I shared this, but I'll share it again, is I heard this story, y'all, and it's a little gruesome, but it tells something. And the story, Shady, it's about a skydiving instructor was telling the people that he was teaching, look, if you were to go skydiving, it's not, and your parachute were to malfunction, it's not the initial blow on the ground that will kill you. Yes, that will be incredibly painful, obviously, but all of your bones will fracture. And it's the fracturing of the bones puncturing your lungs that actually kills you after you bounce. Why am I sharing that story? Because the author gave the analogy of do your best to catch your friends on the bounce. There's the initial blow in life, the initial blow of something tragic happens in your life, like the initial blow of making contact with the ground. But it's do your best to catch your friends on the bounce. So if Kieran, if you're going through a hard time, don't just be oh, yo, you see what happened to Kieran, but let me try to intercede in your life and catch you on the bounce. If 2-5's going through a hard time, if something happens publicly or something happens privately, it's usually not the initial blow that's the most devastating blow to an individual. It's the bounce. It's the reaction. And when I think about Kyron Lacey, the initial blow was the accusations. That was the initial blow. But the problem with the bounce was everybody on social media saying, you're a thug, you do a gun celebration, so surely you did this. Oh, you get in the end zone and you start playing with guns, so you're a thug, you're a murderer, you look like all of these things.
This is disgusting.
It was vitriolic and it was absolutely disgusting. And so I just challenge y'all watching. I challenge my brothers to my right, to my left, and I challenge myself. Make sure you intercede for your friends when you can on the bounce. It's not always that initial blow. It's not always the, man, I got caught doing this. Man, my spouse found out I did that. Man, the bank saw I did this. Man, I had to file for bankruptcy. It's not always that initial blow. It's that bounce. And I've tried to make sure I've texted my friends that have fallen in any sort of trouble in the last several hours or several days, yo, here for you, love you. I'm going to check on you. I'm going to bother you. We got to start bothering people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Make somebody say I'm good. That's fine. I'm pulling up on you anyway, just to give you a hug, just to check in, just to make sure you're good. We going to dinner. Steak 48, 2-5. We going to dinner. Oh, you're good? That's fine. We're going anyway. You know what I mean? So let's just try to make sure that we can do what we can to mitigate as much of this as possible.
100%, man. Rest up, Kyron Lacey, man.
Let me tell you something. Girl! They labeled him a murderer. They made him the face of a crime that he didn't commit. And I'm guilty. I reported on the story because media fed it to me first. Kyron Lacey was a star from LSU, a young king with NFL dreams. He had talent, drive, and faith in his future. But one day changed everything. A fatal car crash claimed a life. And the media claimed Kyron Lacey was the killer. The headlines hit hard and fast. No trial, no facts, no truth, just lies that spread like a wildfire. They said that Kyron Lacey caused the crash. They said he ran after the crash existed. They said he didn't care, but none of that was true. He turned himself in, trusting the system to hear his side. He believed that the truth would prevail and clear his name. But in this world we live in, once the media decides that you're guilty, your innocence don't stand a chance. The pressure started building on Kyron Lacey. All them NFL teams that were reaching out him to draft him, they cut him off. His name got dragged across every platform on the internet, including mine. And because everybody believed the stories that was going on before he in the trial, all the people that once cheered for him in the LSU stands started hiding their hands once they felt like he was guilty of that car crash. Kyron Lacey was fighting for his freedom, fighting for his peace, and fighting to prove he wasn't who they said he was. His court date was set. The very next day, he was supposed to stand before a judge and present the evidence that would prove his innocence. But he couldn't take it no more. The pressure of a lie broke him down. The weight of being misjudged crushed his spirit. The night before court, Kyron Lacy took his own life in his car alone, just one day away from clearing his name. Just 5 months later, the truth came out. Surveillance footage showed his car was 70 yards behind the accident. He never caused that crash.
In the top left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodaux, coming from Vacherie. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyron Lacy come to a stop.
So as we've seen the video,
he never touched that other driver, and he was innocent all along. His lawyer said it with tears in his eyes. Kyron would have been cleared today, but today never came. The lie came first. The pressure came first. The judgment came first, and it killed him. The same media that destroyed his name went silent when the truth broke out. No apologies, no corrections, just silence. Like they never said nothing. Now, it's a couple celebrities like Andrew Reese and a few others that said justice for Kyron Lacy, but justice too late is still injustice. The pressure of a lie took his life, but the power of the truth lives on, because God don't let lies stand forever. He exposes every hidden thing. And even after dark, the truth still sets you free. Kyron's story ain't just a tragic, it's a warning, because a lie can kill faster than a bullet, and the court of a public opinion is deadlier than any prison. So remember this: don't judge what you don't know. Don't speak on what you ain't seen. And don't let the world tell you who guilty until God say so. Kyron Lacy died a day before he could have proved his innocence. But now the whole world knows Kyron Lacy was innocent all along. Rest in peace to Kyron Lacy. Y'all make sure y'all like this video. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to my channel. Y'all make sure y'all comment below y'all thoughts, man. And make sure you share this video, because it's a kid out there right now going through peer pressure. It's a kid out there right now trying to prove their innocence to somebody, and everybody got them down because it done spread like a wildfire all over the internet. See, the lie done took off 5 miles down the road before the truth put his shoes on. Always remember that, and that's a lesson that I learned. For now on, all the media people, TMZ, all these news stations sending me all these stories, I'ma vet you, I'ma audit you, because you ain't finna have me looking like you. See, you could throw rocks and hide your hand, but one thing about that Nino spit the truth, and that's all he know. Y'all like this video, subscribe to my channel, and y'all make sure y'all share this video. We the business.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of AOC Community Media, Cox Cable, LUS Fiber, or any entities they represent. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we're back, and I hope you got a lot out of the videos that I showed. Matter of fact, Brother Darryl Muhammad of the Community Defender, if you watch the replay here on this very same station, he discusses that in length from the perspective of a conscious brother such as himself. Again, well, I guess we have 2 callers. Let me accept this caller right here, right quick. Yes, call. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, powerful show starting off, Brother Jim. It's just so heartbreaking that Kyron Lacy took his life like that, and it's lies that the state troopers has told. It's still the same thing. It reminds you of Ronald Green with what that state trooper did, and all the extra lies that they told to make Ronald Green parents believe that he had an accident. So where do you really go from here? I mean, the top boss in the state of Louisiana is the doggone state trooper.
Yes.
That guy shouldn't have the opportunity to resign. He needs to be going to jail for lying under oath, because he took an oath to tell the truth.
Right.
Do we know who the state trooper is?
Oh, well, his name, I'm going to read it later. They got his name. Hello?
Okay, well, well, yes. And definitely to Kyron Lacey's family, oh my God, our deepest sympathy. And we just lost. We just lost. I wanted to also say that, Brother Jay, that I was getting ready to say Tyler Perry, but it's not Tyler Perry. It's the Roland Martin. The great Roland Martin was in Baton Rouge this past weekend, and he did a phenomenal presentation.
Yeah.
He called a lot of people out, and so good just to see him right here in Baton Rouge. You know.
Right.
Yes, and also you have the sheriff of this parish, Lafayette Parish, Mark Garber. You know, he's opening up a detention center. You have people at Angola holding. They're getting millions of dollars to hold.
Right.
These ICE. I hate to use that word. What they continue to call them illegal aliens, when you know your history, you know who are the real illegal aliens.
Right.
It's those white boys.
Yeah.
But we have to kind of keep our mind up there. Don't just let them do what they want to do and how they want to do it. And thank you. And also, Brother J, you had what's his name? Headset. Remember Headset?
Yeah. Pete Headache, I call him. Yeah, because he has so many hangovers because he's a confirmed alcoholic.
Okay, well, Headset, he's talking about how he wants them to lose weight. How he wants if you have razor bump, and from what I understand, I'm just that regular shave, and that's why black men try to go beard because of that razor bump.
Right.
He have that as being, you could get expelled out for just having that.
Right.
Yes.
Maybe he's talking more about his commander in chief who's overweight, whose hands are falling off, his face is falling off. Maybe he's talking about that.
Yeah, because you are absolutely correct, because he would be labeled as
unfit,
overly obese.
Right. Now if you see this picture on the screen, that would certainly, he had bone spurs. He didn't join the service, right? First of all, I wasn't a member of the military, but I certainly wouldn't pretend to know everything like he say he's know. But you see what could happen, the results of grabbing them too many times by the you see what could happen on the screen. That's when you grab it too many times. I mean, this is the celebrate. I'm sorry. If you have over 10, you might come up with some kind of hand condition. So certainly the commander in chief is not fit to be the commander in chief, Khadijah. Let me stop that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and I wanted to say too, Brother Jay, that's a powerful shirt you have on.
Tyree Nichols.
Brother.
Yes.
No. That's the brother that was paralyzed.
No.
From the. Huh?
That's Tyree Nichols from Memphis when the majority of black officers and one Caucasian jumped on him and beat him to death out there in Memphis.
Okay. Okay. Yes, indeed. Well, thank you and Brother Keith so much. And have a good day.
Right. All right. Thank you, sister.
All right. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, brother, coach, if you want to call back in, we put in a new system, and it was ringing all my devices, and we got a standalone device for. So call back, and once I've learned how to work this system, we be able to put you on the what they call parking list, where you have some of your callers on the line. You could call in, and you could be parked right behind that first caller. So call back, coach. I'm sorry about that. Again, people, I want to read this piece. Thank you, Sister Khadijah, for that. I want to read this. Okay. We'll go right to him right now. All right. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning, Brother Jay. How you doing?
Good morning, Coach. I apologize, Coach. We finally put in a new system, standalone IP phone. They call it Internet Protocol phone. And we just don't have the hang of it right now. But basically, we'll get it together like always. We always experimenting on this show to make the broadcast a little bit better.
You know, Brother Jay, in the world we live in, everything has to be experimented with before it really begins to work as we hope it would. Even the ones who are inventionists, when they invent things, they have this process. But that's good. I'm glad that things are upgraded and things are happening where it makes it more, I would say, feasible to work with and to get a lot done in a small amount of time.
Yes.
And things.
Yes.
Brother Jay.
Yes, sir.
I watched that video that you showed earlier, and I've been keeping up with the matter because it's been in the local news, state news, and national news. And you know, boy, I tell you, something like that really grabs you and it stops you in your track for about, on an average, it'll stop you in your track for at least about 60 seconds to make you pay attention and make you listen to what's being discussed and stuff about that matter with the Lacey young man, football player, LSU, etc. He even played blue ball at UL over in Lafayette. You know, it's crazy. Let me take that word back. It's not crazy. You know, I want to say this. I wrote down a couple of words like deception, deceit, the rules of law in our country today, in today's world, in today's United States, the rules of law. And then I wrote down justice. And then I wrote down trust. Then I wrote down, who do you trust? You know, right now in our country, we have, it's kind of like we have a situation that's basically, it's disruptive, it's out of order, there is no order, nobody's following the playbook. The playbook has been basically thrown out the building, and rules and regulations are being made on a second by second basis. And if you don't make one in a second by 2 seconds, then everybody might say, well, who gives a darn? And let's just do what we want to do. And who cares? And by the time, yada, yada, yada. You know, that, if everybody has not figured that out yet, that seems to be where things are, then something is wrong with us Americans, you know, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to be able to understand that things are not as they should be, and they're not functioning as it's supposed to be, even when it did function the way it was supposed to function, it still was not fairly right.
Right.
Well, that said, the way of this country is we have to hold each other accountable. Democracy works when the three branches of government holds each one accountable so that nothing gets loose and go array. And everybody that understands that knows that right now is not in this order. With that said, you know, the leader, the elected officials, they are elected by the citizens within the municipality, if it's county, parish, or statewide, and then within the nation of the country which their votes are being cast and placed and counted. You know, there's a lot of things that you can say about this process that it's not fair, it stinks, it's corrupt, and all of that. There's a lot of things that we all can say. And a lot of the things we say is right. With that said, but there is still that rule of law that lays down we have to be in this order. Okay, so if we have to be in the order that the rules of the law says in the country, then that means everybody, no matter if you were elected for your position, you too. And the position itself, nothing can be taken off like a rocket or like a high-powered jet from an airport runway as though it can go do what it wants to do. It don't work like that in the United States of America. You have to abide by the rules of law. And as long as we allow people to keep doing what we are witnessing, then we have to set up the roadblocks. Right. Roadblocks right now are being set up to prevent that right now. Some people who are ignorant may not see them, but they are. That's why we are where we are. What we got? We got a nation that's closed down. What do they call that? What is the name whenever they shut down?
Shut down.
This stuff now.
Government shutdown.
Okay. Government shutdown. We're dealing with government shutdown. Why are we dealing with that? Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Put 2 and 2 together, 1 + 1 is 2. You can figure that out. Why are we here? And we don't look like we're going to be getting out of here soon. With all due respect, it's going to start impacting people. In fact, it's impacting them already. And it's going to get a little worse. With all that said, and one thing about fear, one thing about the word fear, to be honest with you, if you haven't dealt with it, just give it a couple of days. We've dealt with it because all of us been through the coronavirus. We know what it's like because most of us were scared. We thought that we wouldn't be here today because of coronavirus. Back to the story. What we're going through now, I'm going to go ahead and use the word ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Well, I'm going to end my comment on this. Guys, all I'm going to say is to all of us voters and citizens of our country, you know, we need to partake. We need to take part. Okay. We need to remember that this nation was founded on the people.
All right.
And we the people. Brother Jay, y'all go ahead. Thank you so much. And that's all I'm going to say for now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, caller.
Hey, what's up, Brother Jay?
Okay, yeah. Okay, caller, can you hear me?
What's up, Brother Jay? Yeah, I can hear you now, man. You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, look, I was listening to that caller before, man. Look, this is the problem with us. We always got people who try to explain politics and the law, and yet still really don't know about the law, but getting told how the law works. Mm-hmm. There is no law, because if there was law, we wouldn't have a 34-count convicted president. And that's what people not understanding. They showed us exactly what the laws were for black people and poor white people. And you're talking about the government shutdown. This government is about ignorance. This is what it's all about. Mm-hmm. These politicians does not care about the people, because if they did, They should be the one being held accountable for closing the government, the tax-funded program.
Right.
Now.
Right.
And who's talking about who? You got the Democrats talking like kids, talking about, oh, it's because of them. Or you got the Republicans talking about, oh, it's child's play. They're playing with people's livelihood.
Right.
And if this don't wake people up for this voting scam, and I call it a scam because let this change for black people definitely, and definitely not white people. So if black people still want to be damn fools to play in this system they call democracy, then we deserve to get taught and treated like we're being treated, because these are elected, paid officials. Their job is to represent the people, not the corporation that is paying them to put the regulation on the people. But yet still we let these black politicians and all these so-called black caucuses tell us about how we should allow these people to run us like we some children. And now you're seeing a bunch of children running a government that's supposed to be supplying and protecting its citizens. And people not understanding that democracy has been going on for 200 years. Black folks have been participating in it for 160.
Right.
So the biggest thing we got to wake up is stop playing around with people with their opinions about the laws and all. The laws are working exactly the way it's supposed to. It's to keep the people down. This is why the Supreme Court, everything Donald Trump said before them, is telling him he has the right to do it. And look at all the tax dollars it's costing the working class people, not the poor people who they're calling welfare babies. The working class people like me, you, and everybody else, Jay, that tries to explain to people this government is a scam. If this government wasn't a scam, they wouldn't be shutting down the government like this. This is why they hold the teachers accountable for the children failing. Why we don't hold these politicians accountable for shutting down the government while they still getting paid?
Well, they still getting paid, yeah. Yeah.
And the people who went fight for this country, the people who work in this country, doesn't get their check.
Yeah.
Tell me if that makes sense, man.
Doesn't make sense.
We got grown-ups talking about they didn't know what's going on, and they say, well, you don't have common sense.
And
most indoctrinated people, man.
And Mr. Kevin, this self-aggrandizement meaning for those out there, meaning celebrating of your own self, your own group, giving awards to each other, having big banquets while Rome is burning. The NAACP conference, which I was supposed to go cover it, right, just based on the information. That's what I love to do, get information, whether it's good or bad, right, but not necessarily support it. And they had a big conference and banquet. How can you have a big old banquet and celebrate, dress up, while your state is screwing over black folks? Screwing over black folks, but you have a big old celebration, and without even addressing the bigger issue that we are going through in the state of Louisiana, where we have a rise in the prison population, a rise in unemployment, a rise in the cost of food. You over there having some more self-aggrandizement. I see a lot of it in Lafayette. All these groups keep giving each other awards to the same people and celebrating something these people do, while the real people, the Fannie Lou Hamers and all the people that suffered and died who went to jail and had blood-soaked shirts on, these people now claim they are just like those people, which I don't think so, Mr. Kevin. Go ahead, Mr. Kevin.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Fannie Lou Hamer and all the people who gave up their livelihood to try to help us see justice. Like the young man was talking about earlier, justice will only come from us, the people, not the politician or the justice system. Mm-hmm. We have to wake up and realize this government system, just like you said earlier, Jay, you said that Rome is burning. Just like Rome failed, America is failing again. And this is what I like about what Donald Trump is showing America again. Black people couldn't wake white America up, so Donald Trump is waking them up to let them know, if you're not in the government system, you're in the corrupted system. This is an autocrat.
Right.
This is how a dictatorial starts. Didn't Trump say his favorite role model was Adolf Hitler?
Right.
And he got a bunch of Germans working in the system. And that's another thing. And how do you let a foreign country like Israel tell you who you can allow to run in certain events? You know, Israel, with that Oracle, that billionaire Israeli man bought TikTok.
Yeah.
Him and his son own CBS. You know, that's the thing that they say is too big to fail. Well, they're going to be the one to fail us. And we're going to be the one to fail ourselves because we keep playing in this game and it's nothing but a rotation.
Yes, sir.
Because, number one, democracy, if it truly is for the people, it should be the people that say we want to shut it down, not the government officials. But you see, the president and all the politicians, they don't run nothing in this country. The corporation owns our politician. The corporation owns our president. All this has been the same party under one bird's wing. That's why they call them right and left. They're under the same damn birds. This government is not for the people. It got to get the people's consent by voting. Once you give them consent, that's telling them you are weak people.
Right.
And you need somebody to govern you. And look at how they govern all these companies in China.
Right.
All the politicians got all their businesses in China. So why can they support China and we can't? Make that make sense now? Because
Yes, sir.
see, China had opened up the market to the free people that you can order everything that they was making, so say out here. China was making that.
Right.
And China was saying if you can order from them, you can order from us from a penny on a dollar.
Right.
That's why Trump put all these tariffs.
Right.
To help him and his billionaire friends making more money because when you order something from China, now it costs more to ship it than what the product costs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's all it's about.
Okay.
It's to manipulate the people to make us think that this government is for the people. Meanwhile, taking away from the people. You name the president and all that. You know, don't forget the juvenile detention homes.
Yeah.
That somehow Lafayette politicians agreed upon.
Right.
The NAACP, that's a government agency now. They get funded by the government. How can they work for us if they're funded by the government?
Right.
The urban leagues.
Right.
The black caucuses. Their job is to make sure they get the black people lined up for the voting that's coming up this month. So they don't come out there and play like we need to go vote in order for them to do something. That's a lie. And to all those educated black people who believe this, they're a lie. So until we wake up and realize we are the only one can change the system by not participating in it, holding our money back, this is how they're living off us. Because we are too gullible to believe without us there is no them. Our money is what keeps this country going around.
Yes, sir.
Especially black people, because we can't hold no money no longer than 6 hours.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
they need us in their system so they can tell the white folks who doing worse than the black folks it's the black people fault. So that's how they're keeping them in the system, and they're keeping us in the system by dangling little treats. And that's all black politicians who always telling us that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about that, because you got the facts, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So keep doing what you're doing, but when people like that call in talking about the laws and the justice, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Keep the people in bondage, keep the people in poverty. That way when you throw something at them, they're going to take whatever it is, even if it's crumb.
All right, Mr. Kevin.
Black politicians been telling us that. So keep up the good work, man.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kevin. Yes. All right, caller. Let's see, caller. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get you off a hold. All right, caller.
Yeah, I'm on.
Yes, you're on.
Okay, Brother Jay, this is Coach.
Okay.
I want Mr. Kevin. This is not going to be a debate. This is some love.
Right.
I want Mr. Kevin to hear this. Brother Jay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kevin, hear this. Okay, Mr. Kevin, I'm talking directly to you. Mr. Kevin, what I talked about earlier was exactly what I wanted to share, but what I did was I bait and caught. It's called pitch and catch. You learn this style
and anybody can teach you this style. What I did was, Mr. Kevin, I said some things earlier that would make one of y'all call in and make one of y'all begin to tell it from y'all side. You see, because everybody got a way that they're going to say it, and that's the way it needs to be said. I said some things about democracy to make you call in and make you talk about democracy. I said some other things about a few other things to make you call in to talk about that. You see, because, brother, if you feel that you know it at all like you know it, then you need to tell us so that the knowledge you have will be shared with all of us and we'll understand it from your perspective, too. Now, my brother, I want to share something with you, too. Our education that we earn, all I'm going to say to you, brother, is no matter when you try to knock us about our education, that's a waste of your time. Because my knowledge I got doesn't just come from a university. It doesn't just come from a book. It doesn't just come from a history book written by a European. On board, if you think that I'm African American and I have been raised by black people, then my man, check yourself. Because I dated you and you went for debate. But that wasn't disrespectful. We need you in the fight. But you can't be attacking us, home. Thank you.
All right. All right, Coach. Let's see. Let's go to this. Let's go to this clip right here. Let's see. I want to go to this clip concerning another one concerning what happened to Kyron. And
former LSU football player Kyron Lacy is dead for no reason. In April of this year, 2025, he was falsely accused and charged with the hit and run death of 78-year-old man Herman Hall in Louisiana. Then, with no evidence after it was propagated with him being such a guilty man online, many bigots took the story and tried to make it a racial thing and made it seem like his on-the-field antics made him guilty of this crime. Guys like Jack Mack with huge platforms online. This surveillance evidence today from the district attorney office came out and it proved that when the crash happened, Kyron Lacy was 72 feet behind the crash in his car. So he had nothing to do with it. And the fact that they tried to put the crime on him, he left Louisiana and went to Houston because he know that I didn't have nothing to do with that, but I know how corrupt this system is. And then with guys like Jack Mack online spewing this narrative as if they know for sure that he was involved in this and was the cause of this, drove him to the point where he knew that he probably wouldn't beat this system that was against him from the get-go. So he took his own life. And then after the video dropped today showing that he had nothing to do with nothing, then Jack Mack tried to come online like, you know what, I'm gonna donate $5,000 to his GoFundMe for my comments and things like that. But this doesn't excuse.
There you go, people. Some more on Kyron Lacy. Certainly, social media is exploding about this story, and we have to get our young people to understand unity on. Achieving our goals for justice only could come about in unity. When you have ICE agents who round up black youth in Chicago at that housing apartment, when you have the sister who is candidly speaking before the reporters after that happened and said one of the ICE agents, because of the concerns of the young black kids being zip tied and led outside into the cool air at night in Chicago in that housing. And when the ICE agents basically told her, F them kids. You hear me? Your MAGA representative here in Lafayette need to understand that is so wrong. The people who uphold Trump and MAGA and Jeff Landry, when that ICE agent said, F them kids. And I guess he meant F them black kids. I guess he didn't want to throw the word black in there. That means they don't give a damn about us. So people pay attention to what's going on. I'm going to say this, and I want Mr. Kevin to watch this video. The NAACP banquet, Roland Martin Some things I agree with Roland, some things I don't. When he capping a whole lot more for the Democratic Party when they're not doing nothing. But then again, when he appeared before the Louisiana State Conference of the NAACP, he actually went off on them. So I want to play that clip because he's basically talking about them, what they're doing for the state of Louisiana. That's further into the video, but I'm going to try to get to it and scrub through it and see where you could. He talks about the people sitting in that room at the banquet are basically sitting there, haven't done nothing for their community. We should be able to criticize as people who they push to go vote and participate. And these groups, they either want to stand in the way, or they want to get out the way, or they want to lead the charge. So which is it? So I want to play this and let people listen to a little bit yourself to what's going on. And I'm going to try to bring up the stuff when they introduce Roland to the podium.
Black Star Network, September 4th, represented the 7th anniversary of the show, the 4th anniversary of the network. And, you know, when we started this journey, there are people who said that Black News, a show or network wouldn't work. There were a number of people who said that. There were people who said that, you know what, sure, others have tried it, but it wouldn't work. And I said they were wrong. And it was interesting, even the folks at YouTube, they were funding a lot of different shows, and they said that this concept wouldn't work. And so here we are 7 years later, and then when they lay out every week their top 100 podcasts, we're the only Black news show that's in the top 100 of all the shows across the world. And what it also means is that what we have to also understand is that we can't consistently talk about what we need or what we desire if we also are unwilling to support it. We've been lucky that we had more than 36,000 people contribute to our show since we launched, and there are a lot of folks again who said that those things would not work, they would not succeed, because it's a whole different thing in this country when you center Blackness. I had someone, a good friend, came to me. He said, and this happened multiple times. I've had people come to me and they said, "Man, you need to be on a larger platform. More people need to hear your voices." And I explained to them. I said, "There's a difference between being on someone's platform that they own and control, where they dictate what the topics are, what the message is. They dictate the amount of time actually spent on that." And I said, it's a whole lot different when you are appearing on those shows in those networks, as opposed to when you get to decide what the topics are, who the guests are, how much time you give, where do you broadcast from. And that's what ownership is all about. The nation's first newspaper, Freedom's Journal, wrote March 16, 1827, "We wish to plead our own cause, too long have others spoken for us." And if we really want to be honest, one of the biggest problems that we have is that there are far too many of us who seek white validation. Now, what I mean by that is that we're seeking approval from someone else or waiting on permission from someone else, as opposed to giving ourselves permission to actually do it. So when we spend sometimes 20, 30, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour on a topic, knowing full well it won't even get 5 or 6 minutes on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all those different networks, then folks say, well, why would you actually do that? I said, because we're in a world where information is so critical. Misinformation is major. Disinformation is significant. And so when we have the ability to be able to use mass media effectively, then that's what we do. So we're not even at this place if you don't have Frederick Douglass's North Star, Ida B. Wells Barnett writings about lynchings, or the Chicago Defender, the Pittsburgh Courier, Land Daily World, and a plethora of Black newspapers across this country. You don't have Negro Digest and Ebony and Jet and Essence and Black Enterprise and on and on and on. So we're here because Black-owned media gave us a voice. before Newsweek and Time, the New York Times were quoting Dr. King on a regular basis, he was actually being talked about and had a column in Ebony magazine. Before national media really was focused on Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., you frequently saw him every single week in Jet magazine. That's what happens when you own it and you control it. Again, you're not seeking someone else's permission. So what also has to happen is what we have to also then begin to do, whether we're talking about locally in states or in this country, we've got to be saying is, how are we actually supporting those media outlets that are speaking to our interests? So then you talk about black-owned newspapers and black radio stations and black television stations and black digital platforms. And so every person in here should be asking themselves, how am I supporting them with dollars and not just prayers? And I appreciate prayer. Prayer is powerful, but a lot of folk love to say, man, I'm praying for you, and they ain't giving a dollar. A lot of people will say, thank you for your work, thank you for your service, not realizing that, well, those things actually cost. Those things are real. So, I mean, you know, as we speak, we're talking here. And again, when you own it, you're not asking someone permission. Because I own the network, because I own the camera, and I own the live streaming equipment, I can do what I want. So we're literally streaming this right now, but do understand that live streaming unit that's sitting right here on the corner, that's $16,000. See, we're talking about real costs. And so we have to recognize that freedom ain't free, which also means sometimes we have to also pay for our freedom. And that's critically important because we are facing a significant crisis in Black America in that we are on the verge of seeing Black-owned media extinct. Do understand, you do not want to see the day when we're having to ask somebody else to tell our story. So now they control how it's told, they control when it's told, they control how long it's told, they control who's actually telling it. And that to me is scary. And so this generation has to be far more focused on how we are supporting Black-owned media than just simply saying, great job, pat on the back, hope they actually come out to cover. We must ensure it's survival. We're not just surviving, because I'm really tired of us having a surviving conversation. I prefer a thriving conversation. So that means individually, folks have to challenge themselves to say, what am I doing when it comes to that? So I wanted to make that critical point when we talk about how important Black-owned media is in this city, in this state, in this country. So let's get right into it. Do me a favor. I want you to turn to the person to your left. I need you to ask them a very basic but fundamental question. Why are you here? Then I wanted you to turn to the person to your right. I want you to ask them the question, I really want to know, why are you here? Now, I want you to imagine, matter of fact, do this so you don't have to imagine. Pull out your phone, and I want you to open your camera app. That's not a rhetorical question. Every single one of y'all got a damn phone. Pull your phone out. Open your camera app. Put it on video. Flip the camera to yourself. And now I want you to hit record. And now you need to ask yourself, why am I at the NAACP Louisiana State Conference Freedom Fund Gala? Now you can hit stop. The reason I wanted you to ask the question to your neighbor and ask the question to yourself, because if we really are honest with ourselves, Some of you are sitting in this room not for a meal. Some of you are sitting here not for, and I have no idea why y'all got cheesecake. I was thinking peach cobbler or chocolate cake, or that's another issue. Or some damn banana pudding or some, bread pudding, but I'm just saying. But I wanted you to ask the question to your neighbor and to yourself, because there are some people sitting in this room who are only here because this is your annual Negro checkoff event. And let me be real clear, I am not speaking to folk who are non-black. There are some people sitting in this room with big titles, with large responsibilities, who are failing black people. There are some folk who are sitting in this room who claim to love our people, who are in their positions because of our people. But when you check the record, they have done little for our people. And I'm going to be real clear to folk who are leery and who may say, well, why he got to go there? Because see, I need you to understand something. My maternal grandparents had 8 children. Those 8 children had 39 children. The 39 children had 70 plus children. The 70 plus had more than 120. And so I can go to Houston and literally see 200 people at any given weekend, any moment. A text message could go out to the family chat and we'll have 60, 70, 80, 100 without a problem. So I did not come here to find any new friends. I have no personal debt. I have no business debt. I owe nobody. So I'm not here hoping somebody can do me a favor. Now, I'm saying that for a reason because, and let me be perfectly clear, I'm a life member of the National Association of Black Journalists. I'm a life member of Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the only real fraternity. The rest are youth groups. I just want to remind those with Alpha in their name, without Alpha in your name, you're not a real fraternity. So it's never wise to open your mouth before the speaker speaks, which shows you the immaturity of other youth groups. So I'm a life member of NA Beach and life member of Alpha. I'm a member of a Sigma Pi Phi, the Boule, Prince Hall Mason. But none of that means nothing because I don't need anybody else calling me brother. Now, why am I saying that? It's because part of the problem that we have is we really don't want to say the uncomfortable stuff. We really don't want to challenge folks. We say, man, you know, but can we just sort of soft shoe it? I simply can't do that. And the reason I'm more than a little ticked off is because how in the world in 2025 can we sit in a room, get dressed up and drive our cars, talk about the things that we do, talk about our love for our frats and sororities and our organizations and our titles and who is a city council person or a mayor or a school board member and a judge, and you are sitting in the state where it's 1/3 black folk, and then when you look at the abysmal turnout in this state, then what you have to ask yourself, hold on, what you have to ask yourself is not how have black people failed in this state, how have black organizations like the NAACP, fraternities and sororities, other failed our people in this state. See, you got to challenge yourself as to what is it that you are actually doing to be a change agent in this state. Here we sit on this day, on today, and in 11 days, the United States Supreme Court will be hearing oral arguments in a case emanating from this state that could very well wipe out half of the Congressional Black Caucus. And I need to understand, why are black folks in this state so damn quiet? Let me say it again. The callous case could wipe out half of the entire Congressional Black Caucus, which is the largest caucus of the Democratic Party, 62 members. 61 right now because my alpha brother Sylvester Turner passed away. At 62, how can folk in this state be this quiet when there is a wholesale assault on black America, something that we have not seen in more than 60 plus years? You have a massive effort to defund every aspect of black America. They are attacking academic, business, political, social, health, every aspect. It is a wholesale assault on everything that we have fought for since the end of slavery, with Reconstruction, going through 92 years of Jim Crow, the Black Freedom Movement, and many of us are walking around as if, as that great scene in Scandal where Joe Morton tells Kerry Washington, you're running through a field of daisies and bombs, no, you're running through a field and bombs are going off and you're mistaking them for daisies. It is literally happening before our very eyes. 400,000+ black women out of jobs. Every black nonprofit in America has been adversely impacted by the attacks on DEI. Law firms, medical field, billions in grants wiped out. The downflow is enormous. You've got this twice impeached, criminally convicted felon in chief sitting there who wants to wipe out the federal disadvantaged business enterprise program. That's $37 billion program. Last year under Biden-Harris, $10 billion in federal contracts came to black businesses, less than 2%, but a record $10 billion. They want to wipe that out. Just this week, they told Atlanta they were taking $37 million from the airport because of DEI. They're withholding $2 billion in infrastructure dollars to Chicago because he's pissed off. They're withholding $18 billion from New York City in infrastructure, and New York City has the largest group of black folks in America. There is an attack on everything black to the point that they're even saying you can't even say black. I spoke at the Black Women's Expo and sponsors literally said, can you take black off the name? You got companies that are saying, hey, we can't sponsor your events because we do business with the FCC and they're looking at every single event that we sponsor. You've got Brendan Carr, the chair of the Federal Communications Commission, telling companies, I'm not going to approve your acquisition unless you get rid of DEI, unless you get rid of these programs. This stuff is happening right now, all in the last 9 months. And we've got more folk who spend more time learning the goddamn line dance as opposed to what is happening to our people. I can't sit quiet when I hear young sisters and brothers say, I'm tired. How in the hell can you be tired when you literally ain't done a damn thing to break a sweat. See again, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in folks sitting here saying, yeah, but I mean, it's not that bad. When you see the attack on black immigrants, when you see what has happened, first of all, if anybody knows the history of this country, in this state, when it was not a part of this country, you don't even have the culture of Louisiana without black immigrants. And this thing is happening everywhere. It's going from federal to state to county to city, school boards. See, do understand, that Supreme Court case, if this hardcore Supreme Court invalidates the use of race in gerrymandering, you're not just going to see half of the black caucus wiped out. You're going to see state reps wiped out, state senators wiped out, county commissioners wiped out. You're going to see city council members wiped out. The entire infrastructure of single member districts, which was hard fought. All of that. Now understand, those positions get wiped out. Who now determines the budget? Who now determines the contracts? Who now determines who gets hired? Folks, we are literally talking about the entire black political economic system that we literally died to achieve, that right now is sitting before us on the verge of being wiped out. So how could anybody be quiet and relaxed facing this? I need to understand, because I haven't received the call or the text. I am stunned with all this going on, that I have not. Somebody hit me and they said, every major black leader should be in Louisiana. But here's the problem. You can't come if you ain't called. And if you ain't been called, that means there's nothing to be called to. See, I'm talking about, we talk about organizing and mobilizing. We talk about how do we actually do this. We talk about how do we actually begin to move and mobilize people. I said it. How in the world could there have been an election for governor in this state, somebody black running, and then black folk don't turn out? And then you have an infrastructure of the Louisiana Democratic Party who didn't do a damn thing to properly mobilize and organize black people. And there's some black people sitting on the committee who are still there. What have they actually done? See, I understand, I ain't got a problem firing people. I have no problem moving folk out, because if you're not doing anything to actually advance the good, you got to go. Well, right now, because of what happened, and please tell me if it's happening, because I know it's not, but I don't understand why we are not seeing massive education efforts, not quarterly, not monthly. I'm talking about every week all across this state, breaking down the numbers, saying, okay, you talk about the 800,000 who are registered, but I don't care about registered. I want to know how many turned out. I want to know how many times they got a phone call. I want to know how many times they got a text message. But damn that, I want to know how many times somebody knocked on their door. I need to understand how are we pulling data to understand, breaking this thing down by precincts to know how many people who live in this particular area are eligible to vote, how many are registered, how many actually voted, then how we now mobilize and organize and knock on doors to actually reach those folks. See, that's why when I challenge various entities, various organizations, and we love sitting around talking in our public programs about, oh, we're doing this and we're doing that. But right now, if you literally go outside this building and you go to cities and towns across this country, and if you ask somebody, an average black person, if you see somebody in black and gold, who are they? They can't tell you what the colors represent. If you say pink and green, they can't tell you. If you say red and white, crimson and cream, they can't tell you. Or blue and gold, or any color. Why is that? Because too many folk in the D9 are so insular focused on our bullshit business internally, and nobody sees us externally, and then we wonder why people say we ain't doing nothing. So if you in the D9 and as a group, you ain't showed up at a city council meeting, a county meeting, or school board meeting as a collective, I'm trying to figure out what the hell are you doing? Ain't that much business inside of your groups when you ain't shown up at a community event? Same thing with the Prince Hall Mason. I was talking to one of the brothers. He said, hey man, we got this event in DC, we got to march. I said, oh, I said, we got to march. Where are we marching? I said, 2, why are we marching? I said, I'm not putting on a black suit and a black tie and gloves and an apron to walk down the street for no reason at all. Same thing for Eastern Star, Links, all these groups. We have so many organizations. The question is, what are we doing with our organizational power? See, again, you got to answer the question for yourself. We're cutting checks for dues, but what are we actually doing? See, that's the kind of challenge that we have to be giving ourselves. And I know somebody's sitting here saying, well, okay, that's fine. But do understand, if you read Dr. King's book, Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community, he literally said the exact same thing. So this ain't what I'm saying. He wrote this in 1967. In his book, he said that there are 4 groups that are prime position to liberate black America: the Negro Church, the Negro Press, Negro fraternities and sororities, Negro professional organizations. He said all 4 of them have never fully given themselves to the liberation of our people. That's what he wrote. Okay, see, some of y'all look at me right now. Y'all like, okay, all right. I mean, I hear you saying that. Okay, so fine. Since you sit here think I'm just making this up, okay, not a problem. Because, see, it's all good. Because I got it right here. So let me go ahead and read it for you. This is in his words. There are already structured forces of the Negro community that can serve as the basis for building a powerful united front. The Negro Church, the Negro Press, Negro fraternities and sororities, and Negro professional associations. We must admit that these forces have never given their full resources to the cause of Negro liberation. There's still too many Negro churches that are so absorbed in a future good over yonder that they condition their members to adjust to the present evils over here. Too many Negro newspapers have veered away from their traditional role as protest organs, agitating for social change, and have turned to the sensational and the conservative in place of the substantive and the militant. Too many Negro social and professional groups have degenerated into snobbishness and a preoccupation with frivolities and trivial activity. But the failures of the past must not be an excuse for the inaction of the present and the future. These groups must be mobilized and motivated. That ain't me. That's Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. See, the problem is, so many of us have gotten caught up and Dr. King being that civil rights mascot or bobblehead. Well, all we do is quote his mountaintop speech. We quote his I Have a Dream speech. But see, we only quote the bottom of the mountaintop speech. But it was the last 2 minutes, was another 41 minutes where he talked about the importance of black folks moving as a collective in order to change our condition. See, we do the same thing white folks have done. Play the mountaintop speech in a theological context. That's the hoop part, but you can't get to the hoop part unless you go through the scripture and the thesis of the sermon. So when I asked you the question, why are you here? That was a pivotal question, because if you're sitting in this room and you're attending the conference, the question then becomes, what do you do leaving here to actually be a real agent of change? Once you take off your suit and your tie and your dress and your pumps and your tuxedo, are you willing to put some overalls on to go to the very people to begin to change some stuff in our community? That's really how you have to answer the question. Because so many of us are playing this thing safe because we are so comfortable in our present condition, and we are literally watching as the attacks are going all around us. And what is happening today is going to have a negative implication for our children's children. See, so you now got to answer, you now got to confront yourself, which is why I want you to record this, because see, here's what's going to happen. If I'm thinking 10, and I'm not talking about 100, I'm talking about 10, 15 years. If all of a sudden we're the road that we're on right now, and we see not just the unraveling, but the total destruction of black infrastructure, let me tell you what's going to happen in 10, 15, 20 years. It's going to be some grandchildren asking, what did you do when they were putting a blowtorch to black America? See, if you're in this room and you are still talking about the deacons of defense from the 60s, and you not created a 2025 version of the deacons of defense, first of all, let me just go ahead and ask this question. Raise your hand if you even have any idea what I'm talking about when I say deacons of defense. That's part of the problem right there. 1/3 of this room raised their hands when you had a group of black men who were involved in the church, who literally were protecting black communities from the Klan. Y'all, that happened in your state. It happened down the road. So maybe part of the problem we have is we got some highfalutin Negroes in here who don't even know our own history. So if you don't know your history, you don't know where you're going, because you ain't got no clue where you been. See, I told y'all I ain't come here to make no friends. I'm trying to tell y'all, what I'm laying out here ain't a Louisiana thing. It's in Texas, in Mississippi, in Arkansas, in North Carolina, in South Carolina. It's in every state. They are trying to do everything to take black people out. Conservative billionaires have said, they have been lauding Charlie Kirk as if he was Jesus or a saint. And he said out his own mouth that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a mistake. Robert Mercer, who funded Breitbart, literally said America began to decline with the passage of the civil rights laws in the 1960s. You see, now you got to say, well, I don't understand. Why are they so bothered because of the Civil Rights Act of 64, the Voting Rights Act of 65, and the Fair Housing Act of 1968? Because see, what you have to understand is that the work of black people has freed America. If you're a woman, especially a white woman, and you are a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, a teacher, an architect, an engineer, you are there because of Title IX, 1972. Now, you ask the average person, well, first of all, Title IX was not about sports. Title IX was about going after the graduate programs that were denying women an opportunity to get graduate degrees. And it said that if you're receiving federal research dollars, you cannot discriminate. Because of Title IX, an explosion of women began moving to corporate fields. But see, when you ask those same women, especially white women, well, can you tell me where Title IX come from? They can't tell you. They can say Title IX. Well, Title IX comes from the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Yeah. If you are disabled and you now appreciate the American with Disabilities Act and now how it has changed ramps and hotel rooms and everything, you got to thank black people. Because the American with Disabilities Act is a result of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. See, if you are Vietnamese or Korean or Chinese in Louisiana and you get to vote in your native language, you got to thank black people. Because you can't vote in your native language without the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And then when you begin to look at how you can now live in different places all around, you got to thank black people. Because that's the 1968 Fair Housing Act. If you sitting in this room right now and you gay and you are so happy because you can call a woman your wife, a man your husband, you got to thank black people. Because without one of the Reconstruction Amendments, the 14th Amendment, Equal Protection Clause, that's one of the Reconstruction Amendments, 13, 14, 15, you got to thank black people. What I'm saying is, nearly every civil right in this country that people are enjoying are a result of the bloodshed of black folk changing the very laws to actually get it done. Nobody has benefited more from affirmative action than white women. They should thank black people, because were it not for affirmative action, those things would not be happening. All I'm trying to say is that they are targeting everything that we have fought and died for. And at some point, folk today got to be willing not just to fight for that, to reclaim that, but say, no, we're going to take more territory. We got more stuff to do. This is a moment where this generation has to stand up and wake up and get involved and get activated and not be silent and not be complacent and not be complicit. You got to make a decision. What am I prepared to do? So if you came to this conference for a dinner and a speech, you failed yourself. If you came here and did not recommit yourself to the fight, then all you did is waste your time. This is a moment where real black folks have got to stand up, stand out, fight like hell, and challenge everybody who wants to take us out. So you got to make a decision today. Are you willing to get in this game? Are you willing to fund it? Are you willing to organize, to break a sweat? And then you must do as my frat brother Burton Woodson Tandy told him, we gonna fight until hell freezes over, then we will fight on the ice.
What? Yeah, they got the brother started. So now I think I can get started. Now remember I told y'all earlier, we start this thing off with, what are you willing to fight for? Because there's a difference when you're a free man.
Yeah, it is.
Because see, when you're free, you don't owe your oppressor a damn thing. It was Brother Lauder who broke down and said, there's a difference between a field Negro and a house Negro. Brother Malcolm said, you see, when the field Negro wants to get all the people together so they can get away, and he goes to the house Negro and he asks the house Negro, you ready to leave? And then the house Negro says, why is he gonna leave? What's better than what we got here? You see, he went on to say, the house Negro, he's happy and content with the scruples and the crumbs that the master gives him. While the field Negro says, I'm going to die for my freedom. He said, when the master gets sick, he said the house Negro says, what's wrong, boss? We sick. We sick. And see, that's a sickness that has to be eradicated inside of our communities today. You see, my good brother Roland, he ain't doing no more preaching. Because the reality is we have not done enough. And as somebody who is a part of the Louisiana Democratic Party, I'm willing to say we have not done enough. Because why is it that we have 80% of the party that's African American and we have not spoken to them, reached them, and tried to collaborate with them and give them a reason to vote? We haven't touched those folks. And that's something that we have to change. But first we got to look ourselves in the eyes and say, what have we not done? As he said, we haven't advocated enough. We have not spoken enough about black issues. We don't care as much as the other side does. Point of contention, Charlie Kirk. I said, this don't talk about Charlie Kirk. I'm going to talk about Charlie Kirk because one, I'm a free man. Number two, the truth got to be said. Now, nobody should say that somebody's going to die in front of their kids so they can see it over and over. But the reality is this. The power of the tongue is real. What you put out is what you get back. That's how the universe works. That's what he said. Chickens always come home to roost. But the point that I'm making is, we've got to care as much about our issues as they care about theirs. These people were willing to storm our United States Capitol for what they thought was right. Now, I ain't telling you to go to jail, but I'm telling you to fight. Because the people that came before us, ancestors, they fought. The question you got to ask yourselves, and this is for all the kids, the young people inside of the building, what's going to be left standing when this is all done? Now, we can leave here tonight, go back to our silos and do nothing, or we can start making phone calls tomorrow. Half of you going to be in your church, talk to somebody inside of your church and tell them what's at stake. As he said before, there's a court case that's going to decide how the Voter Rights Act will be interpreted moving forward. That person comes right here from Louisiana. We ain't doing enough screaming, whooping, and hollering to say why we shouldn't use it. And you know the biggest audacity of it all is that they're using the Equal Protection Clause to say why we don't need another majority seat. Now, if that don't make you mad, I don't know what will. Because that's the same clause what got us here today. Why you have a Senator Barrow, why you had a Councilman Lamont Cole, Councilwoman Carolyn Cole, and all of our other black representatives, even myself who served on the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board. Ask yourself, what's working? Because if your family ain't working, if your kids are not working, if your grandkids are not working, if your grandparents are not working, what is? Why do we even do this? Why even come here? It ain't about preaching, but it is about fighting. And y'all, it's time for us to fight back. Yeah. Next, we'll call up my brother from another mother, one of the baddest men I know, and one of my fellow troublemakers. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who runs the Louisiana NAACP, who does this unapologetically, who does this on behalf of his people, and who does this without question. I need you gotta make some noise for President Michael McConnell. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. We ain't scared either. All right.
Good afternoon. I really want to thank you all for coming and thank my frat brother, I said frat brother, Roland Martin, because I needed to shake this town up. Yeah. I needed a bomb to be blasted in the state. He was the bomb in Gilead. Yeah. You know, I say a lot of stuff all the time, and people don't listen till they get knocked at the door, or get the emergency call that they want to call the NAACP. They get in a hurry. Yeah.
Yes, people, we're back. I'm sorry we ran into a bit of audio issues with the last part of the speech of Roland Martin being the keynote speaker at the Louisiana State Conference of the NAACP banquet this past Saturday. We were told we were invited to go and cover it. We unfortunately, it was last minute and we could not make it. But I want to bring this based on just informational sharing with the people. And I know we had some phone calls during the show, and I have a tendency when I run the videos not to accept phone calls. I just want to let you know. Again, matter of fact, our telephone line is tied up right now. So give me a chance to get it straight. My telephone line is tied up. Just give me a chance to get it straight right now. Definitely, I want to read some clips. And once I clear the line up, because I have a new system in, which is called a voice over IP telephone number. Just bear with me. I can't get the number in. Let me see if I could get it. No, it's not letting me. It's not letting me accept the phone call right now. So let me boot up the system again. Hello. Hold on. Let me do the audio. I'm adjusting the phone, trying to boot up again. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I wasn't taking any phone calls while we had the video. I hope you don't mind. But yeah, and okay. Let's see. I think I got your signal. I want to get your signal on this line compared to other. Go ahead, Mr. Kevin. Right. Uh-huh. Right. Right.
He's still talking independence, but yet still want the white folk in charge of us, in him. He always talking about how he owned all this stuff. Well, why you always got to make black people think that we got to be a part of this Democratic Party?
Right.
You know, he said himself that if they're not doing nothing for us, they got to go. Why he don't say about the Democratic Party? They ain't did nothing for us, so why he not saying they got to go? But all that is a political pep rally because votes start, I think, this weekend. And they need black people's vote because white people really not voting because of what their new master Trump done them. So we got to wake up and let black people know. It's black people like Roland Martin and all these other sellout Negroes that's really getting paid by the system to go on their platform and go and make black people riled up to, so say, get to them voting poll to vote against their own interests. And he always talking about the so-called black politician not doing nothing. Well, why is you still telling black people to vote for him? If you're independent, that means you're trying to start your own party, not be a part of somebody else's party. And to the guy that calls himself a coach, you know, a coach is somebody who takes their players out of other people's ignorance. And my thing is, I'm trying to take our people out of ignorance because we need to know the facts, not just be calling in and giving scenarios. And he didn't debate me to call. This is my job as the knowledge I have accomplished throughout paying attention to this government, that they are our biggest threat. And we shouldn't be involved with none of these people because without us black people, these white people cannot survive. And we got to wake up and realize that if we can support them, why the hell we can't support ourselves? And thank you, Jay. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to get the line. Y'all bear with me. It's a new system. I love it. It's just that it got some kinks I got to iron out of it. So I'm actually listening to the delay on television to see when Mr. Kevin hangs up. And thank you, Mr. Kevin, for that analyzing that thing. And the reason I'm showing it, right, I cover things, right? I have camera, will cover. Have camera, will, have gun, will travel. Have camera, will travel. I didn't get a chance to cover it, but what Roland said in there was so profound, whether it applies to him or not, that we got high polluting, like, high pollution, one of the more Western words, individuals sitting in there who are part of the Louisiana legislative delegation, pretty sure some from the Lafayette area and the so-called Acadiana with 3 Ks area, sitting there, haven't done nothing for their community, get mad at you because you are critical of them not moving forward in those critical issues. We understand you could fill a pothole in the road. We understand you could get a nice license plate, vanity license plate in the state of Louisiana. But the real things, the stuff that's coming at us, you're not speaking about. That's the problem. And I'm pretty sure that would apply to most of the people in the room at that event that was held Saturday night, right? So how many people was just looking at it as entertainment without even doing some self-examination that Roland was directing the stuff at you guys who were in the room? And I saw a couple of pictures that someone had put up concerning who was there. So those elected officials should be feeling some sort of way if Roland was throwing that at them. And you know what? I could make some sound bites off a Roland clip and that would apply to that so-called Louisiana delegation that was represented from this area. So people, think about it. Think about it. Let me go into this because, again, people get mad when you start talking about what they do. Don't be an elected official. Don't participate in the election game if you're going to have a thin skin about being criticized for what people think you're not doing. Every election cycle, the people who participate get criticized by the people running for office. Remember, people, the biggest creators of voter apathy are the actually elected officials who criticize the people. The people have voter apathy because you guys are not doing what you set out to do. You get blinded by the light. You're either scared of the MAGA or the hardcore blue dog Democrats or the MAGA Republicans out there. You're either scared or you either want to take the money from the lobbyists, the influence peddlers out there, or you just don't give a damn, you got your job. So, there's no other way to explain it, people. Do the research for yourself. So I want to get into this right here. Okay, we have another phone call. Okay, caller, I got you on the line this time on the telephone. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Brother Jay. As always, you're always putting on the right show for us to be aware of what's going on.
I just don't want that. Good morning, brother. I just don't want that Louisiana delegation to get mad at me. Roland, the one said it. And if you look at the pictures, people were there, Roland was talking about the people sitting in the room.
Yeah,
I wasn't sitting in the room.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Just
yes,
like
sir.
we was talking about voter apathy.
Right.
Our voter apathy comes from the people look like us, the people that's supposed to be standing up for us. You understand me? And they stand up for the other side that's not a good side because of the money.
Right.
Money is the power that create voter apathy. And they don't care no more than the dollars that they could put in their pockets. This is why I don't want to belong to these different organizations. When I go out and push somebody to vote, I know what I'm pushing. I know why I'm pushing it. But I am not going to go out there for the dollar that they be getting. Now, the person that I believe in, they may not have the money that the other person has in order to create voter apathy. And that's where we at. You know,
Yes,
we create voter apathy. We create voter apathy among ourselves. You know, just like religion. Religion is part of creating voter apathy. These elected officials or want to be elected officials paid so much to go into a church and speak to them. Where was you all the time before you wanted to run for election or re-election? Where were you then? You know? So this is where I'm at, you know. Money is not what's creating it's creating our problem. But the thing of it is, we got to understand the problem we create for ourselves when we go along to get along. Brother Jay, again, you had a wonderful show today for bringing all the things that we needed to know. But did everybody get to hang on to it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But keep on doing what you're doing. Go ahead on.
Yeah, sorry, sorry we're closed. According to the picture on screen, the government's still shut down. Ronald Green is still not, hadn't got justice, and you see so many different things. The more they change, Brother Wallace, the more they remain the same.
Yeah, well, you know, like I be telling everybody, keep your cabinets full, keep some water with you. You know, sit back, relax, and wherever the birds land, that's where it's gonna land. Be prepared.
Right.
You know, just don't let it drop no bull crap on you.
Right.
You know, so Brother Jay, you know, we're gonna holler back later, but I just had to give you an accolade. You know, as far as you having a wonderful show, always do.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Keep up the good.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
All right.
All right, my brother. Peace out.
Peace out. And again, you could catch these great shows of some of the callers who called in, Mr. Kevin, every Thursday at 5:30 on this AOC Community Media channel. Also, Brother Wallace, every Friday from 10 to 12 on this very same AOC Community Media station. Again, I was going to read that article from the United States Supreme Court. Said that ICE can use, they said that in this little crazy article, but SCOTUS say you can use race. SCOTUS is the United States Supreme Court. You can use race when stopping someone. Remember what happened to the kids in Chicago when the sister was interviewed at the TV station? The white Caucasian ICE agent say, F them kids, black kids who were being handcuffed. Remember that. And Coach, we're about to sign out, Coach. Coach, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, I just want to tell you, I'm looking at my time, that you're going to be running out of time, and I want to say to you, great show. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what all of y'all do. Y'all are keeping us informed. Y'all are in the battle. We are all in the battle, and we are all taking upon ourselves to struggle. We going to struggle. We struggled before, we'll struggle again. Right. But we will make it. We will achieve what our main goal is. So again, Brother Jay, thank you, because it's a lot of work y'all put into this. Y'all do your research and all of that. And so we got to give y'all flowers right now. Yes, and y'all keep up the work, because people got to stay informed. And don't forget to tell them about that election. Brother Kevin might not want to hear this, but don't forget to tell the people there's an election Saturday. And if they didn't go absentee vote, they can go vote this Saturday. And if they wanted so choose to go use their vote, go do your thing and everything, and don't miss out. You know, I don't know what else to tell us, but here we are. We got to do what we got to do.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
So y'all, Brother Jay, Sister Khadijah, and Brother Pete, and everybody, Brother Kevin, everybody, y'all keep doing the work. All right, y'all have a great day and a good weekend.